The world expected tradition. A wedding wrapped in protocol, stiff rituals, and cold duty. But what unfolded shattered every expectation. Because this was not just another royal ceremony. This was love. This was destiny. This was the wedding of Her Royal Highness, Princess Leonor of Spain. From the moment whispers of her engagement began, speculation roared like wildfire across Europe. Who would capture the heart of the future Queen of Spain? And when the answer was revealed, it shocked many. For the groom was not just any prince. He was a young royal who carried his own weight of history, legacy, and expectation. And together, they were about to rewrite the story of monarchy in the 21st century. But before the bells of matrimony rang out, there was conflict. Silent battles within the palace. Questions of loyalty, tradition, and power. Could Leonor, a princess raised in the shadows of duty, truly choose love? Or would her heart be bound by the chains of dynasty? The journey to this wedding began long before the dress fittings and the floral arrangements. It began when Leonor was still a teenager, balancing the weight of the Spanish crown on shoulders not yet grown. She was destined to rule. The first queen regnant of Spain in centuries. Every step of her life scrutinized, every word analyzed, every smile captured on camera. She was not allowed to be ordinary. And yet, like every young woman, she yearned for something real. Something unshaped by politics. Something pure. And then came the prince. Handsome, poised, yet carrying his own secrets. Theirs was not a love story staged for cameras. It began quietly, in the spaces where duty and freedom collided. Conversations hidden from the world. Glances that lingered too long. Until one day, silence gave way to something undeniable. But royal love is never simple. Families were divided. Advisors whispered, Spain needs stability. Denmark needs continuity. Marriage is politics, not romance. Yet Leonor, firm and resolute, declared, if I am to be queen, then let me first be human. And so the wedding was set. A ceremony that would not only unite two young hearts but also merge two powerful houses. Spain and Denmark. History and future. The morning of the wedding dawned over Madrid with a golden light that seemed almost celestial. The bells of Almedina Cathedral rang out as thousands filled the streets. Flags waved, voices cheered, and cameras clicked endlessly. But inside the palace, a hush hung in the air. Leonor stood before her mirror, dressed in a gown woven with centuries of symbolism. Lace that echoed Spain's royal past. Jewels that once adorned her great-grandmother, Queen Sofia. A veil embroidered with the fleur-de-lis, a symbol of continuity, power, and grace. Her father, King Felipe, entered the room. For a moment, he was not a monarch, but a father watching his little girl transform into a bride. Emotion clouded his voice as he whispered, "You are ready." And Leonor, holding back her own tears, answered, "For Spain. For him. For love." Outside, the world watched as she took her first steps. Every detail carried meaning. The crown of Aragon in the embroidery. The music echoing Spain's centuries-old royal marches. Even the bouquet, white lilies for purity, roses for Spain, and forget-me-nots, symbolizing eternal remembrance. But the loudest gasp came not for her dress, but for her groom's expression. As the prince turned to see her, his composure cracked. For in that moment, the weight of kingdoms fell away, and all that remained was love. Yet even in celebration, tension lingered. Many asked, could their marriage withstand the immense pressure of ruling two great nations, even if from different thrones? Would love be enough when politics demanded sacrifice? Those questions lingered, unanswered, even as vows were exchanged. The ceremony itself was steeped in grandeur. Choirs filled the cathedral with voices that soared like angels. The archbishop spoke of unity, of faith, of the responsibility they bore not just as royals, but as symbols of hope for the new generation. And when Leonor and her prince finally spoke the words, "I do," it was more than a promise of love. It was a vow to rewrite the monarchy's story, together. As the newlyweds emerged from the cathedral, sunlight cascaded over them, igniting cheers across Madrid. Confetti rained down, a cascade of red and yellow petals for Spain, mingled with white and blue for Denmark. It was not just a wedding. It was a spectacle of history. But what the cameras did not see was just as powerful. The stolen moment in the carriage, where Leonor leaned into her husband and whispered, "This is only the beginning." The glance between Queen Letizia and King Felipe, silently proud yet aware of the weight that still lay ahead. The mixed emotions of courtiers who wondered how this new union would shape the balance of power across Europe. And yet, beneath the crowns, beneath the duty, there were only two hearts that had chosen each other against all odds. The reception sparkled with opulence. Crystal chandeliers bathed the hall in golden light. Tables adorned with Spanish roses and Danish tulips symbolized unity. World leaders, nobles, and dignitaries filled the room, yet all eyes remained fixed on the young couple. When they shared their first dance, silence spread. It was not rehearsed. It was not perfect. It was real. Their laughter, their whispered words, their unguarded joy, it was a moment that melted centuries of cold protocol. But even here, curiosity lingered. Would their love story stand the test of politics? Could Leonor remain both a loving wife and a powerful queen? Would this wedding mark the beginning of a new era, or the slow unraveling of royal tradition? These questions are what make this story unforgettable. Because beyond the lace, the jewels, and the crowns lies a deeper truth. The wedding of Princess Leonor was not just about monarchy. It was about choice. The choice to love boldly. The choice to unite destiny with freedom. The choice to show the world that even in palaces built on stone, hearts can still beat wildly. And so, as the world watches, the story continues. The story of a young queen who dared to love, and a prince who dared to stand by her side. Their wedding was a chapter. Their love is the book. And history is waiting to see how it will be written.